from our first of 4 matches today. A fantastic slate for you. We're gonna go men, women, men. We're gonna get started with the Dallas Dream and the Los Angeles Launch. First matchup will be Miles, the kid, Partain, and Paul, the guy with the kids, Lotman. Partain and Lotman taking on Hagen Smith and Logan Weber in just a couple minutes. Day 2 in Las Vegas as we complete the first half of the 2026 AVP League.
The desert doesn't make anything easy, not in June and not in Las Vegas. This evening, the Progressive AVP League steps into triple-digit territory. The temps just continue to climb as we reach the midpoint of our season. The Dallas Dream and the LA Launch arrive with a chance to gain ground before the race to the postseason truly begins. Halfway there, biggest matchups still lie ahead. A look to our Week 4 standings, the second day of action here at Resorts World. San Diego still remains atop the order, having played in just 1 week thus far. You're going to see them in 3 consecutive weeks to close out the season, but Palm Beach has done some work here in Vegas, now sitting at 7-3. Again, these cup standings determined by your combined men's and women's records for city franchises. Miami may be the favorite in the 2026 season, but somebody else that's looking to get back to that runner-up status in the cup standings, the LA Launch, Hagen Smith and Logan Weber, currently sitting at a 1-2 record. They're cooling off. You can see Hagen Smith trying to stay as ice cold as possible. Cameron Irwin alongside Rich Lamborn. What does this team need to bring to the table today?
Well, you see that second category there, serving. It's a big weapon for this team. It's a necessary weapon for them to employ against their opponents. Only league team with more aces than errors. That's phenomenal, but it hasn't been the easiest of serving conditions here. They're going to need to dial it in here against Dallas today.
The words of the Olympic gold medalist Rich Lamborn. He's going to break this whole match down for you. Kevin Barnett will be down on the sand as you look to Logan Weber, the 6'8" blocker out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. This is a unique dynamic between blocker and defender because recently in 2026 they have switched sides. It's a total different dynamic.
They like to keep their opponents guessing, and if they don't know what side they're going to play, neither do you.
This team coming off a loss last night to the Palm Beach Passion. Hagen Smith still looking to find a little bit more offense. He's brought the service pressure, but this team needs to find a different rhythm attacking their opponents. Their opponents this afternoon, it's going to be the Dallas Dream and Miles Partain and Paul Lotman. A partnership reignited in the 2026 season, sitting at 2-1. They picked up a win yesterday, and it was electric. It was an 8-1 run to close out the first set, a 6-1 run to close out the third. They had a match point in the second, but lo and behold, the New York Nitro came storming back. This team seems like they're only going to get better as the season goes on.
Well, yeah, you called it a partnership reignited. They got into the qualifier system for the league and came out and won in their first opportunity. So they're very familiar with one another. You talked about how good they were coming back in the first set last night. They kind of had a hiccup in the second set, but responded extremely well. And they're two guys that know one another well. Paul's even worked as Miles' coach on occasion. And so expect their synchronicity to be dialed in today.
Yeah, you noted it yesterday in that matchup as you see Miles Partain on screen, just 24 years old out of the Pacific Palisades. That they're adding in a couple new routes in terms of their offense. How will that elevate their game once they find kind of that nuance?
Well, it's a challenge that they like to lay on the doorstep of anyone that's across the net from them, right? They have a lot of motion in their offense. They do a lot of option play. So they always try and keep their opponents guessing. Last night they had to employ the whisper technique, according to Miles, because he plays on occasion with James Shaw, who was on the other side of the net yesterday evening. That won't be the case today, so maybe he can go full volume on his play calls.
Full volume on this matchup between Paul Lotman, Miles Partain, Hagen, and Logan. Some big-time blockers facing off. Temps now at about 101. It's only heat rising here in Las Vegas.
Paul and I teammates in 2012. I love him, but that right there is my favorite player in the AVP League. But to be fair, my favorites are based solely on pectoral mass.
For some reason, I'm not surprised by that whatsoever. First serve, here we go. Jump top from Hagen Smith, and immediate impact of the option.
Yeah, right on cue. The good thing with the game of Miles Partain is he can do that seemingly from anywhere and everywhere. That's obviously a perfect situation, but he can take that ball 12, 13 feet off the net.
We spoke with him about exactly the distance he's looking for, about 4 feet or so from the net. Perfect as Lotman gets some early work in. Push set. That one has a little bit of turn to it.
The hand set?
Yeah.
Yeah, not enough, I think. I think Matt up top, the stand there, leaving that one alone. Hagen showing some versatility with the knuckles, a little underneath and backwards.
Lotman and Partain coming off the win last night to the New York Nitro, Shock and Shaw. Another option, this time the opposite corner. He said this week he's been working on some of those cross-body option plays. You really have to have versatility even on that second contact.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it helps him a ton that he's left-handed coming in on that right side, so the ball is always within his view. But you got to serve tougher against Paul Lotman. I mean, he was an indoor player of the year, the MPSF, and you serve a lollipop at him, he's going to pass it perfectly 99 out of 100 times.
Recently had his jersey retired at Long Beach State. Number 2, no longer available.
Interesting. That's typically as high as most 49ers can count. So.
Oh, come on now.
Shots fired. Come at me, Niners.
Another great lift.
Yeah, I think we're 3 for 3.
Perfect set. You're on the money.
Yeah. There's an indoor axiom that you need to serve a seam to serve an ace, and that holds true on the beach as well. You serve the ball right into the body of most of our AVP athletes, and it's going to result in a perfect pass. Got to make players move.
There's that seam you talked about.
Wow.
Without question. Wow. What a set. Hagen Smith sacrifices his body into the cheese grater.
That was unbelievable. We hope that the signage is okay.
Appropriate.
Yeah, watch this, yeah. Got the back of the dome. That was phenomenal pursuit. Hagen Smith.
This LA launch team was runner-up in the 2025 Cup standings as here comes Hagen. Another beauty. And a little too much loft. But a big reason they were so successful last season it was because they did find efficiency in some of those scramble plays.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Hagen's going to run around and scramble back there. A little bit of indecisiveness, unfortunately, there for Logan on that ball. That's one got to take advantage of against this Dallas Dream.
Paul Lotman at the service line. Didn't find an ace yesterday. Reduced the errors from a week ago. Finds one there.
Yeah, it's interesting. You don't typically think of this necessarily, but we are a couple thousand feet above sea level here in Vegas. So the ball sails a little bit. It's hot. The ball just kind of like drives through the wind a little bit in the air. The serving not quite as easy as it is at sea level.
Hesitation from Weber, who finds his partner.
I like that changeup too from LA. It's kind of the devil you know, in the sense that they go at Miles, kind of expecting that he's going to hit the third contact rather than having to guess whether Paul's going to hit or Miles is going to go on two. So they're able to set up their defense a little better, and it pays off.
Yeah, you noted it, going 3 for 3 to start on that option play for Miles. They said they had enough. They go right back to him here. There's the big stuffy Logan Weber.
Yeah, there again, that gives Logan time to set up. Even with the tempo set out wide, you can see Logan just slide out there, do a little show and take dive into the angle big. Perfectly timed.
There they are. Yeah, I see Salt Lake.
Came away with 2 blocks last night. Added an ace. He's tracking right now. A new route found for the Dallas Dream. They'll take it.
Yeah. Fortuitous bounce off the top of the tape. Good job from Logan to kind of track that route. Set got a little tight, and Miles does a nice job sort of recycling it. So look at the lucky dribble.
Nobody home. Not even a move from Lotman.
Yeah, it's tough. I don't mind that. I think kind of the best way, especially when Hagen does such a nice job of pushing Logan wide on that pass, is to just hold your ground. If you start chasing, you're going to end up taking nothing anyways. So Paul just waiting in case that ball got set, and at least Miles has a clean look at it defensively.
Working in his heat. Partain finds the line.
Yes, sir, Miles.
Some fancy footwork on that one.
Indeed it was. You know, I like the length of that approach. Trying to bring him in short to minimize some of his routes, but they still find a way, Dallas do, to get some length for Miles Partain and some momentum in that approach.
Pushed wide and fighting to get through that block. No room to work. 7 apiece. Dallas ties it up.
Yeah, good job by Hagen to stay aggressive, but that's kind of a trap set, and Paul smothering it. Great handwork, kind of surround the ball.
Appropriate adjective. Smothers it.
Smothered. Oh.
Dallas will head to the benches with the 1-point advantage. A little run here to find themselves at 8-7.
Got to get our phalange retraction service out. That shot.
One team reaches 8 in each set. We're playing best 2 out of 3 sets. All 3 go to 15. Got to win by 2.
On the end change, choosing not to go to a hydration break here. That's a different way of handling the heat.
Iron Men.
Set right through the middle. It seems like Hagen Smith has found those paws. Yesterday, there were a couple that were somewhat on the verge of being called.
Okay, so you didn't mind the spin coming off of that one? I know you're a bit of a purist as a setter yourself.
You know what, I am, but I thought it was a clean enough contact. It was also back set, so you expect just maybe a hair more. Inside, Logan Weber lets him know. Number 2 for him.
And that's one in the angle, one in the line there for Logan. So doing a nice job. You can see that big reach. He kind of goes up neutral with the body and then reaches out to his left to close that line down.
Lotman gets a look. Scooped. Big move. Bigger swing.
Yeah, and this, to preface this fairly, this is much easier said than done, but that ball, kind of Paul made his move early into the angle. You could see him trying to desperately reach back. That set just drifted past to where he could reach, and Hagen had a wide open look at that bounce.
3-0 run now for the LA launch. Attacking the sidelines is Smith. Clear vision.
9-10.
I like that adjustment from Miles. He's got such tremendous vision. I appreciate him trying to stay aggressive, but you know, Logan's gotten him a couple times. Maybe his vision isn't super dialed as far as the swings go, so trust your vision shot making wise.
Gets back to the service line. He says this is actually one of his weakest skills, which is why he loves playing alongside Paul Lotman, because that's one of his best skills. Feels like they pair well together.
11-9.
And working in the option. This is new to 2026 with Weber back on that left side.
Yeah, I like that change for LA, as Hagen controls the ball with his platform extremely well and serve receive.
Yeah, Logan said he had been skying his partner's sets from the opposite side, so he's had to change things up a little bit. Short serve. Tough, tight. They're going to call it a double.
Yeah, unfortunately, that was back into Paul's dome. Logan getting 3 now in this opening set. That's a number you'd love to be able to continue over time. Yeah, there you see it, right into the body.
It's a trio for the Beach Cowboy. A series of runs here in set number 1.
I think we had 4 blocks in that first half of set number 1. Now, some of y'all were doing it. Yes, sir. Hi.
Trying to stay cool underneath their umbrellas. You can see the fans in full effect. Let's check in now with our 2-time Olympian on the sand, Kevin Barnett.
Hi, kids. You know, I always like science, and so we have a little science going on the sidelines here with the heat of Vegas. AVP has put into the player boxes some cold water buckets so people can put their feet in. On your body, on your feet, on the palm of your hands, as well as on your face, you have an intricate woven set of veins and a special construction called arteriovenous anastomosis. And that's designed like the coils in a radiator. So you can have the blood flow through there while they're in the cold buckets. Heat will dissipate as it flows through your feet or hands or face, and then it will cool the rest of your body. So the players have that option when they come to the sidelines, or as they're getting ready to go ahead and dunk those and lower their core temperature just a little bit to deal with this heat a little bit better.
Yeah, it's a great call, Kevin. I also see oftentimes with professional tennis players, as our resident scientist is always on point, that they even cool off their hands. They'll stick their hands into ice cold buckets because it cools down your body temperature that much quicker.
Huge nerd. Thank you, Kevin. I think when people see someone with your complexion at the beach, they're pretty sure you like science.
Right back to it. Dallas needs to make a move, and that ball is sent to the sky.
This sand, a little bit springy. Talked to Hagen yesterday. He said it's real jumpy out there, and you can kind of see how aggressive all these players are and some of the velocity that they're getting on these attacks. There's a perfect example.
6-1 run here for LA. On it. Option off the net. And an error. Dallas cannot find their game in the first.
Yeah, this is what tends to happen when you make good plays, particularly at the net. You get into the psyche a little bit of attackers. They start trying to make angles that they don't have and shots that they maybe don't have, and you induce some errors.
Set point for LA. Quick step in. Partain sends one.
Is that Hagen Smith or Jean-Claude Van Damme in defense there? I mean, he went full splits, no hands to get back up. That was impressive.
Fended off one set point. Partain needs another dig. Lotman goes up. and can't find it down the line. So the LA launch takes set 1. Hagen and Logan came to play.
What a finish for the launch.
We'd like to take a moment to honor the life of someone taken simply far too soon, a member of our AVP family. A lifelong lover of sport, Mike Strauss spent more than 3 decades helping tell the stories of athletes, teams, and unforgettable moments across the sporting landscape. His work touched everything from college athletics to Olympic sports to our world here in the professional beach volleyball space. But his impact went far beyond the stories that he helped tell. Always carrying a smile and a sense of humor, Mike was a trusted friend, mentor, husband, father, grandfather, and brother to our dear friend and colleague, Doug, that has sat next to us in this booth for 10 years. Mike leaves behind a legacy that will be felt for years to come. We are simply heartbroken here at the AVP. Our thoughts are with him, his loved ones, and of course, his family. Championship.
Drafted by the NBA and came to the AVP.
Just take a look at this iconic field.
I'm ready. Are you ready?
We have a huge crowd, overflow capacity.
Cameron, a lot of players and people have been waiting for this moment in this place.
Ladies and gentlemen, I could not be happier to be right here, right now.
AVP Beach Volleyball is more than a sport. It's an experience. And for just $59 a year, AVP Gold membership gives you all access. Ticket discounts all season, early access to seats, compete in AVP events, and big savings on pro gear. Get in the game and experience everything the AVP has to offer. Get your Gold membership today at avp.com.
The Wilson Optics, it's casting not quite a big enough shadow across our stadium here in the back lot of Resorts World as we get set for set number 2. Cameron Irwin alongside Rich Lamborn, Kevin Barnett down on the sand, and guess who else are? It's the LA Launch and the Dallas Dream. The LA Launch taking set number 1. Dallas, prior to this, had won the first set in 8 straight matches. And all of a sudden, the LA Launch stealing their glory.
That set got taken by the wind. Luckily, Miles is lefty and go out wide of the antenna. Slap it. Yeah, 8-2 run, I think, to close there for LA in that first set.
And you know what? That was the case last night for Dallas. A series of runs, both good and bad. What can they do to kind of slow those runs down?
Yeah, I mean, all you really can do is try and go point by point, right? I mean, nobody's trying to give up runs. You just have to sort of narrow your focus a little bit. Not think about the wide picture, but think about kind of what's in front of you, the next contact, the next pass, the next set, so on.
Do you think it's a specific area that is breaking down for them?
Well, their connection offensively hasn't been quite as solid as we saw it last night. Yeah, there's a couple now that we've seen sail long on them, so those hand contacts, I don't know if that's a function of trying to press that a little bit. Talked about how solid Logan was blocking at the net, and that can start to alter some of the shots and some of the swings you make as an offensive player.
You saw it pop up on screen, 3+ blocks in 10 of the 15 career matches for Logan Weber. Definitely an impact in set number 1.
We are tied in set number 2.
Smith and Weber 471 in terms of their offensive efficiency as opposed to 211, to your point, for Lotman and Partain.
At 211, LA stealing one.
Oh, I don't know.
In or out, who knows? It is inbound.
Calling that one an ace.
But it is inbound for the ace.
Logan, show of good sportsmanship. Don't expect Phil Dahlhauser to call that in for you. Talk to him a little bit about the calling your own touches, calling your own lines. That's why we have referees, he said. I tend to agree.
I think Kevin Barnett is on that same train as you.
Yeah.
And Phil. Another good look option from Hagen Smith.
Yeah, nice little fake there too. Body kind of facing into the angle and then just midair rotating that around to stroke it up the line.
Hagen Smith, the product of UCLA.
Product of the weight room.
And product of a legend. Son to St. John Smith. We spoke to him about that this week. And he said, my story runs through him. I have to carve my own path, but without question, he's a big part of my journey. Dad, coach, you name it. Dallas down on digs as well. Still looking for their first 0-5 for LA. Ooh, that one's gonna hurt. It's a neck tattoo for Miles Partain.
Yeah, that's a stinger. He's in great position. It takes a little tick off the top of the tape, which changes the trajectory of that. You see it just goes right off his arms into his nose. That'll water your eyes up a little bit.
Now Partain gonna take an extra second here as it blew up his sunglasses.
It's always curious, right? You can take an 80-mile-an-hour fastball right to the forehead and feel almost nothing, but if you take a 2-mile-an-hour shot to the bridge of the nose, you'll be crying the rest of the set.
I'm curious, have you tested this?
Yeah,
An 80-mile-an-hour fastball to the forehead? That explains a lot.
Yeah, more than one, which explains even more.
5-4 here for Dallas. Looking for set 2. Somehow, that ball is sent to Dallas. Partain from the left, adjusts his approach. And another scoop. Logan Weber. Falling to the right, error to the right. That's just the first dig that we've seen from Dallas.
Yeah, and it almost felt like both sides were trying to let the other one off the hook there. You never know who was going to win that rally until that final ball went down. Some great defensive work. First couple digs of the match, unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to see it if you're Dallas.
See the changeup of service pressure. We talk oftentimes attacking the sidelines, attacking space, but why might you also see them take some of that spin off and go more with the float?
That looked to me like the toss wasn't there. So I like the idea behind it. Not, you know, you don't want to give yourself a bad toss and try to make a hero swing and sort of compound mistakes. Paul just trying to keep that in, and it just sailed on him a little bit.
Great serve, better pass. And another flex down. We need to start counting those. There should be a separate stat line for Miles Partain.
Not necessarily something we always see from him either, so they come with a little extra weight. I don't know how he snuck that by Logan. Like Logan made a great move into that angle.
Partain spending a lot of time on his nutrition as well as in the weight room. He's changed his body comp, as has his partner, Paul Lotman, now at the age of 40. Saw Lisa Partain even in the gym this morning. She was getting after it.
Let's go, baby!
Yeah, Paul's always been a guy who's kind of on point with his nutrition and his fitness. Just seemingly looks better every time you see him, even as he gets up to 40, like you said.
Hagen Smith with the Keanu Reeves impression, ducking out of the way.
Great eye, 7 up.
That's a couple of those. It's just they're just a little bit out of sorts on the Dallas side. More hitting errors than we're accustomed to seeing from them.
Three for each Lotman and Partain, 6 in total, as opposed to 4 on the opposite side.
That's a switch. We'll take a 1-minute break. It is 8-7.
8-7 on the end change. Dallas led in the first.
Right, if you were here yesterday, who was
this
here
time,
yesterday?
right back to it.
Yeah, and this is where LA went on that 8-2 run.
If you were here yesterday, you knew that one of my far-fetched goals
The journey only at the start for the Dallas Dream in the 2026 Progressive AVP League. You can see the damage they did in their debut in Miami. Palm Beach, Austin were the competition. You'll get a chance to see them in Long Beach in Los Angeles. Same location that LA 2028 will take place. It's Miami and Brooklyn, and then they'll close out the season against Austin and San Diego. For the LA launch, they're back on the sand after having a few weeks off. Belmar was the first stop. They played in those windy conditions. San Diego, New York went 0-2 versus Palm Beach. Have Dallas this evening. They'll be playing in their home event in Los Angeles. Brooklyn, Miami, San Diego, as well as Austin. In week 8, you can find us in Dallas, closing out our AVP League Cup. All 4 of these athletes also fighting for a shot to send themselves to Chicago. The top 6 teams will play for the AVP League Championship. 1 and 2 seeds earn a bye. And the LA Launch found themselves in that championship matchup on the shores of Lake Michigan last year. Facing off against the Palm Beach Passion, Trevor Kraft, Phil Dahlhauser.
All right, Vegas, let me get a round of applause to get back into
rookies in the league a season ago. And right now challenging a formidable opponent. High set overhead dig. How about that poke and pick up? Step in and leave it up there, Miles Partain.
I love it. Yeah, that was, I mean, you couldn't have said it better. Poke and pick up. Perfect precision to keep it alliterative. And that was just a great spear defensively from Hagen.
Hold the finish, Miles Partain. 9-7.
Dallas need to hang on here. Quick snap, Jow sent back, airborne, and not enough there for Smith.
Yeah, and that was a little bit of good fortune. You know, Paul has the tough task of serving that ball, sprinting all the way to the net. You can see he's just barely arriving there. That actually gave him a little bit of momentum to have that ball get blocked to the back half of the court, out of the reach of Hagen Smith.
As always, we got Kevin Barnett, Cameron Irwin.
A 3-0 run now for Lotman and Partain. Things have evened out offensively between these two teams. Here in the second set, Lotman and Partain now up to about a .333 efficiency. Again, that's your total kills minus your errors divided by your total attempts. 286 on the other side of the net. Lotman and Partain have also reduced some of those attacking errors that you saw in the first, just 1 apiece here in the second. And a look to the littles. You know what? I could use a little bit of that right now. Can we get them in the booth?
I love his hairstyle. He's had that for years and years. Paul's son there.
Paul Lotman, father to 4 boys, all with 1-syllable L names: Leaf, Lane, Link, and Lark. Jasmine, mom, also, we had a little ladies moment in the gym this morning. She was a part of it. Let me tell you, she's strong as heck. And actually, maybe a little bit of the nutrition coach to her husband there. He talked about getting rid of refined sugar and alcohol, and she looked at him and said, yeah, it's about time. Let's do this.
Yeah. What have you been waiting for? Can you elaborate on what a ladies' moment in the gym is?
Let's just say we got after it.
Okay. All right.
A lot of strength training. I bring my own strength and conditioning coach sometimes to these events.
Oh, you do? Okay. Good for you.
She put us through a workout. It was fantastic.
Love it.
Right back to the action. Right back out.
Hagen, a fantastic volleyball player.
What's the adjustment here for LA? Back out of the timeout and find the first.
Well, it's kind of a mirror image of what happened in the first. They're a little bit out of sorts in their offensive game, just not executing as smoothly as they were in the first. So it'll help if they can start right here with this skill.
Jumpy. Quick up is Smith. He's got to retreat. Laces it right through the middle.
Yeah, wide open net for Miles Partain in transition is not a recipe for digging a lot of balls against the young man.
Partain now up to 12 kills on 20 attempts. Wind coming in from his left to right.
Yeah, you could see he almost missed that toss. It took a right turn after it left his hand.
Wind heading into those bleachers you see courtside. Just one ace between these two. Lotman changes up the attack angle from the right.
And that was a little bit out of necessity, a little bit of a game plan change perhaps, going with that wind. You mentioned it kind of going left to right.
Choosing to set his partner. Weber awaits the net. Gets his hand on it. Number 4 for the Beach Cowboy.
I'm not sure I love that from Dallas. It was a little bit late. They were trying to add some deception. And I think it kind of hurried Miles a little bit, diminished his vision enough to let Logan just throw some big hands in front of him, get the block.
Look out, here comes LA. Strong serve. What a save from Partain. That one's gonna hurt his partner.
Yeah, extra dagger there when your partner makes an unbelievable save and then you kind of fudge it right into the net. To be fair, I came back at Paul awfully quickly, but that's when you love to pay off when your partner lays out the effort.
Hagen Smith, take a look at some of those numbers. 7 kills, that's definitely an improved mark since the start of their season. He's been bringing it from the service line, but the offense hasn't quite been there. Last night he did a decent mark, sitting at about 400 against the Palm Beach Passion.
9 digs was also on that stat line too, which is impressive. We're not even fully through 2 sets yet.
Doubles down on what he did last night. Just 5 apiece. The LA launch bringing the pressure right now. Trying to cool off the rest of our crew. They've been hanging tough.
I went to a tournament in Klagenfurt, Austria years ago, and they had cheerleaders with fire hoses at the top of the stadium. We have Matt Laveau on top of the referee stand. Almost the same thing.
Negative numbers for Paul Lotman right now.
Here we go. Who's rooting for the LA line?
LA just one away from a tie. They're trying to pick up this win in straight sets. Right back. Knotted at 12 apiece.
Now we talked about needing that serve to be strong, especially against a team that receives typically as well as the Dallas Dream do, and that one just jumping off of the arms of Lotman right into the tap down zone for Logan.
How do you reset the mechanism right now for the Dallas Dream?
Yeah, one contact at a time. Like I was saying earlier, you just got to pass this ball first.
Right on the money. Lotman to the corner. They needed it.
Yeah, even that one didn't come easily. It was a tremendous pass. The rest of the play looked less than perfectly comfortable. That's why you go one contact at a time, right? If you can do one thing good, it tends to kind of snowball in your favor.
Dallas regains the lead. Beautiful vision. Hagen Smith. That's something he works specifically on alongside his dad, St. John Smith. He said it's one of his favorite training drills. Throwing a defender on the other side of the net, having to attack with just those last 2 steps and trying to see what fingers, what numbers the defender's holding up.
Yeah, that was tremendous deception on that shot too, just holding until very late.
Another big step in and another strong cut. Dallas at set point.
Yeah, I think it's important for Dallas, close this set out. Obviously, they want to extend the match, but where they were looking comfortable about 3-4 points ago, they're starting to look a little squirrely. It'd be good to have the opportunity to get this win and reset for set 3.
Partain sit at 2-1 on the season, now at a set point, looking for number 3. Instead, the side out from LA.
A little curious about their defensive setup there. Paul kind of jumping laterally, and Miles just holding his ground in the angle. I think Paul's got to either be out there a little bit earlier, or Miles has to be in a position to make a move towards that line.
LA's been streaking. Can they hang on to the momentum? Lotman says otherwise. One more time to the set point.
Yeah, that was a good looking side out from Dallas. Much better rhythm start to finish.
That ball drifting from the hand of Partain. Block is out of bounds. Dallas is dreaming on this one.
Yeah, I mean, it was tough to see from our vantage point. Let's see if we can see it here. It's awfully close. Oh yeah, just wide. I was looking at the end line. I mean, that's about as close as you can get. Unfortunately, it didn't have enough pace on it to where it would kind of drag across the line.
Just a nightmare for Paul Lotman. Even 15-all.
Yeah, important side out here because they're starting to feel it a little bit again. So too is LA. They've kind of come back nicely in this second set.
Another big move and a quickened arm. That play has been perfection.
That was excellent execution. Just letting that ball go right by the left arm of Logan and striping it up the line.
Third set point for the Dallas Dream. From off the net. Partain finds the 17th point and sends the Dallas Dream to set 3.
Yeah, that was excellent work there. And again, started to round into shape again at the end of that set. Excellent for them to close and send this to a decider.
They were in a 3-setter an evening ago. The Dallas Dream in set 3, hang on, or excuse me, in set 2, hang on. Paul Lotman's got to find his best ball coming up in the third. Fighting for that singular championship. Just take a look at this iconic field.
I'm ready. Are you ready?
We have a huge crowd, overflow capacity.
Cameron, a lot of players and people have been waiting for this moment in this place.
Ladies and gentlemen, I could not be happier to be right here, right now.
AVP Beach Volleyball is more than a sport. It's an experience. And for just $59 a year, AVP Gold membership gives you all access. Ticket discounts all season, early access to seats, compete in AVP events, and big savings on pro gear. Get in the game and experience everything the AVP has to offer. Get your gold membership today at avp.com.
Hanging out here at Resorts World, 7 pools, and I will tell you they are absolutely fantastic. One specifically gives you a shot of our view. Everyone loaded up and ready for set 3 action soon coming your direction. Cameron Irwin alongside Rich Lamborn, Kevin Barnett down on the sand. What has stood out in terms of this matchup between the Los Angeles Launch and the Dallas Dream?
Yeah, well, you know, it's been kind of a consistency battle, right? Both teams have been a little bit up and down. As is very often the case, this third set is going to come down to execution and who can kind of minimize their errors. You see that 7 under the Dallas Dreams error category. They want to minimize that number. That's far too many for a pair as talented as Paul and Miles are.
Now 3 of the 4 matches for the Dallas Dream this season have now gone to a third set. On the opposite side, the LA Launch men, well, last year they were outstanding in 3-set matches. They had 5 such matches, winning every single one. However, this year they've had one. It was to start the season against San Diego Smash, and they lost 13-15 in that battle. Slightly off balance was Paul Lotman. Some quick work for Weber up at the net. Slapped back. Smith with the foot dig.
Little World Cup nod there from Hagen. Can't control it, unfortunately. Yeah, that is indicative of what we're going to see in the third set. Strap in, because that was one side out, but it was not easily attained for Dallas.
Feels even more imperative to kind of reduce some of those extended rallies in this heat. As another shot's taken by the Launch. The walks become that much slower back to the service line.
Yeah, you talked about it a little bit yesterday, minimizing the length of rallies. I mean, nobody's trying to get themselves into extended rallies, but you got to stay aggressive out there to try and lower the chances that they ensue.
Composure, but it's Weber. Another block. He is seeing clearly in this matchup. Number 5, monster block, give it to him. Let's check in now with Kevin Barnett. Kevin?
Hey, Cam, third set, you got to bring in the heavy hitters and get all the advice you can possibly handle in order to win this. Betsy Flint, Kylie DeBerg here, Dallas Dream in the box. Betsy, what's your role? Did you bring the orange wedges here as mom?
yes, I did. I for sure did, but no, they're good. I don't think you can eat much in this heat.
Yeah. What's it been like out on the court?
It's been hot and dry. Just trying to conserve some energy and not warm up as long. But yeah, they're doing great. They're passing well, setting well.
What can you guys give to them during this set, do you think?
What can you give to them during this set?
Some energy. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Tell me about last night. Give me a little breakdown on last night. Kylie, start with you. Breakdown on last night's match.
I played terribly.
Okay. How are we going to fix that today?
Play better.
Okay. I mean, it seems simple. One area of focus, maybe?
I think our pass set. Focus on our side first, and then we can figure out their side. But it's our side. Get into 15, go fast. So focus on us.
Okay. Betsy, from you?
Yeah, same thing, and staying connected and being vocal and talking to each other, communicating, finding a way to win.
All right, well, stay vocal for these guys. They're going to need it.
Let's go.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Nice work, Kevin. You just got a chance to catch up with Betsy Flint and Kylie DeBerg, the women's pairing for the Dallas Dream. You heard some of what they're looking for as here comes another extended rally. The Dream taking that one. They took a loss last night to Shaw and Rodriguez. In straight sets, they will face off against Anderson and Chacon of the LA Launch at the conclusion of this matchup.
That was impressive from Logan just to get that second contact on the ball, pop it over. Not easy to land and still play the ball cleanly.
Hang time for Lotman. He wanted to take the line, and he did just that.
Yeah, the wind's starting to become a little bit of a factor here, blowing fairly significantly. You can see not only are servers' tosses flying around, but the sets drifting. That affects the precision with which balls can be set, affects which side you want to attack from. Yeah, that is, you know, Miles trying to send it up into the wind and have it drift back in, just overdoes it a touch.
Currently wind about 15 miles an hour, gusts up to 22. Impact without question being felt now. Looking for the touch is Paul Lotman.
We did get the touch. Got the touch on the block.
Just finding the fingertips.
Yeah, it would have been interesting if our officials didn't see that, to see if that was an instance where Logan was going to self-incriminate again.
At some point that has to end, right?
I would think so. That's why you're just better off never doing it, because you don't want to make it situational.
They look to Weber. Walking in, too easy for Partain. And blowing up the opposition.
Yeah, and that's excellent beach defensive timing right there. You can see as Logan is contacting that shot, the line is wide open. This is just a look at the finish. High heat of the chest of Hagen Smith. And Miles doing a great job baiting Logan into that line shot defensively.
You know what they say, a wizard is never late, nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
I didn't know they said that, but I will make a note.
Words of Gandalf, the favorite of Miles Partain.
Yeah. So you know what they say means Gandalf?
Big Lord of the Rings fan is Miles Partain.
Yeah, this is a good swing. Kind of the same defensive setup, but Logan puts a little extra pop on that ball. He eases up on that. Miles is scooping it yet again with that same formation.
Last year's best server. Is he gonna stay at the line? He is, in fact.
That is 2 now. Hold on, Lotman challenging.
Here's the quick look. Is the line bouncing? Did you see it there?
I did not see it. Matt made the call, I think, saying that he saw the line move. That's kind of the asterisk to the challenge rule, because the ball mark may very well be out.
Another look.
Here's a look.
Here is the discussion, the ball mark. The ball mark is
that is out.
The line is elevated.
That is out. We had one of these last night. Lotman was the beneficiary of the challenge.
So because the line is elevated, he saw it bounce. I do believe it's going to be inbound, so wait for it. Wait for it.
Yeah, I think that's what he's saying, Cam. Matt saying, yeah, that he saw the line bounce. I don't know.
Kevin Barnett's telling us that it might have nicked it on the way through. Is that what you saw, Kev?
Yeah, I was sitting on that side just now. I think as it passed over the line, it clipped it going by, and that's why the line moved. That's what the call was based on. The ball mark didn't mean anything.
All right, so the elevated line doing a disservice to the Dallas Dream.
Yeah, that is the rule, and correctly officiated. You know, that's, like I was saying, that's kind of the asterisk to the ball mark challenge, is that if the official saw the line move, you obviously can't get a look at that in replay. Good response, though, from Dallas.
Third set to 15 here. Rainbow shot from the service line.
We are tied again.
They played right back to that same defensive formation.
They're getting what they want, but they're going to have to now make the adjustment, right? It's kind of that ongoing cat and mouse on the beach. They got the scoop on the line shot. Logan's done a nice job speeding up the pace of his swing, and he's won that showdown the last couple times.
He's also won the blocking battle, 6 total blocks. That's the most ever for him. Make it 7.
Indeed. That's 3 this set. 2 of them have come with his feet on the ground. This one he just barely got off, but
the question is how tall do you have to be to get a block with your feet on the ground?
Yeah, I mean, dude, he's 6'8", 6'9"-ish with some long arms.
That reach well above the height. Now number 7.
Be the Dallas Dream in the LA Launch.
League best is 8 total in a match. Theo Brunner found it this year in a fill-in role, as did Phil Dahlhauser.
And Betsy
Just the 4th week of action here with the Progressive AVP League. 8 total weeks in the regular season, with the championships being held in Chicago come September. Labor Day weekend, come join us on the shores of Lake Michigan. I'm looking forward to some time spent out in New York City. We'll be at Woolman Rink, one of the most lively events we had last season, right in Central Park. Head off to East Hampton. Bring your linen and your gingham. You know you're gonna need it. The chance to see the 3rd year of the Progressive AVP League. 8 city franchises vying for the cup. And the top 6 pairings from both the men's and women's side, with a shot in Chicago. Where would you place the Dallas Dream in terms of the rest of the men's field?
Well, both these teams are sitting at 3-3, right? So they're kind of middle of the pack, looking to separate themselves. This match obviously going to be a huge decider in what happens there. The great thing about our league is it's kind of anybody's ball game, right? We have extremely evenly matched teams, a lot of parity. That's why we play the game, to see who's going to come out on top.
Feels like more parity than even last season in terms of those wins and losses, as another strike comes from the Dallas Dream. Snowman.
Yeah, I like that.
Those existed here.
Yeah, I like those all the way around that play. You know, Miles had to kind of slide in, but he stayed aggressive. The LA got what they wanted, but just got beat by the pace.
Mentioned both Dallas and LA currently sitting 3-3 with their men's and women's pairings combined. Weber sees Lotman coming off the net. We haven't seen him pull, but it was a perfect one.
That was an interesting play. We haven't seen Paul, if we include last night's match, he wasn't super successful at pole digging. Kind of some of the instances that he pulled were advantageous for the offensive player. That set was a tough one for Logan to kind of track with any kind of vision, so it was a good choice from Paul, good play. And the dribbler to back it up.
The Dallas Dream extend their lead to 2.
Yeah, you love it when good plays kind of string themselves together.
Just the first ace, or excuse me, the second ace for Lotman in this match. Feels like you got to slow down the momentum if you're the LA Launch. But you think back to sets 1, 2, it's been all about the streaks, and LA has found their rhythm late in sets.
Yeah, all 3 of these sets have been 8-7, one way or the other. And that has seemed to mean very little for what was going to happen the second half of the set. First 2 went, you know, one way, one the other way. Now things seem to be going Dallas's way, but again, based on what we've seen thus far, a 2-point lead is very quickly erased.
You're looking at the Dallas Dream right now. They picked up the 2-1 win just a day ago over Schalke and Shaw. They faced off against Palm Beach and Austin previously, split that week 3 action, as Partain has now hit 20 kills. He's had 20 kills in 3 of his last 4 matches. Sky is without question the limit for Miles Partain, one of the great young talents on the men's side in the United States.
And if you're looking at numbers like that and wondering why teams would serve him if he's putting up those kind of numbers, it doesn't matter, right? If you serve him, he's going to hit it. If you serve Lotman, Lotman passes the ball very well, and Miles is going to hit it a fair amount of the time. So there's simply no avoiding the offense of Miles Partain.
A pair of Olympians for the Dallas Dream. 1 indoor, 1 beach. And Weber, Lotman have a moment at the net.
Yeah, that was a good little snap from Logan Weber. It was a great pursuit set from Hagen. Watch this. Ball kind of low. Hagen gets it up there, not quite as high as Logan might like it in a perfect world, but he snaps that arm through quickly and able to beat the block of Paul Lotman.
They've been deadly out of timeouts. The LA launch right back to the same MO. Another monster block. That's number 8 for Logan Weber.
I'm a little bit surprised. Again, you know, we talked about that lead not being safe, and it is gone already. Miles, I like that he's being aggressive, but I think he's maybe not utilizing his very good vision as much as he needs to. Kind of just going with those sets, and Logan's lining it up and doing great work with his hands.
Logan tying the most league blocks at 8. Several of those this season. That was Theo Brunner, like I mentioned, Phil Dahlhauser this year as well. Now add Weber's name to the mix. Sander back in 2024. Is it another? What a recovery! It's all LA launch.
I mean, there's very little that's as fun as watching a play like that, where Hagen's all the way in the back court. Have a look. He's not even in your screen. Here comes the full head of steam, Yahtzee up the sideline. Very rarely in Vegas, I would say, do you get your money's worth, but we are certainly getting it here in our opening match.
Who's going to go all in to close out this third set? The LA launch are back on top. Another tough serve. Lotman, there was no one there. It was almost like he had too much time to think about it.
Yeah, that ball, fair distance off the net. He just tried to guide it in and let the arm drop a touch. Just like that. That's 4 straight from LA.
The first career double-double for Hagen Smith. You know he wants to rip the jersey apart. It's not time yet. You got to close this thing out.
You don't get a body like that eating too many double-doubles, but he's got one here.
The 4-0 scoring run for the LA launch. We talk about the strength, the conditioning. Hagen Smith telling us that it's been about a 50-50 split. Time on the sand, time conditioning in the gym. Sits at about 205. Feels like he tries to get as strong as possible before the start of the season, and inevitably starts to drop down match by match. About that 185, 195 frame. But I asked him about what he feels like is his optimal playing weight in terms of his verticality. He said he touched 11.4 his freshman year at UCLA and has not tested it since.
Wow.
So I'm going, it's without question gotten higher, right?
I'm gonna have to have a little conversation with him, because anything lower than 200 is technically victim weight, we call that. So impressive that he gets big in the offseason and then winds it down. That was kind of the Jake Gibb approach as well. You got to build and then kind of take care of yourself as the season progresses.
Seems like he's carrying enough muscle right now into this third set. Partain has put on a performance in his own right. 20+ kills, those 3 of last 4 matches. He needs to find 5 more here.
Yeah, they need to find a way to avoid the block of Logan Weber. The latter stages.
Can anyone at this point?
It seems like it's difficult, but I mean, moments ago they were up 2. So they were sitting in good position, but this serve of Hagen caused him some trouble.
Weber hunting the league record. Nearly there. Sneaks through.
Yeah, just got a little bit out of sorts at the net. Started kind of chasing up instead of over. You can see that left arm as he turns away from the net, kind of peels off. Gives Miles that little opening.
1-point game. Not enough height for the option. Trust your partner and good things will happen.
Well, that's the same exact thing on the Dallas side now. Paul in perfect position, but this right arm just gets away from the net. Hagen able to slip it through. That was really Hagen's only option, as that set was wide of the antenna.
500 to 327. In terms of their numbers, another right on the outside of the block.
12, looking at 13.
Yeah, this feels almost like a must-have point for Dallas here.
Ball looking for a real point to tie it up.
And they had their own 14-12 lead in set 2 last night, and they kind of coughed it up. So anything is possible, of course, but it's harder to fight off teams at match point.
Dallas in need of a real point. This is going to be a great opportunity. Sky ball off the platform. Partain with some creation.
Yeah, you see
the hat down.
Yeah, you see the reaction. I mean, that goes down, and he's pleased with that part of it, but less than pleased with maybe a couple of elements. That's not the pass he expects necessarily. That one could have been easily controlled by, I shouldn't say easily, could have been controlled by Logan. It was a very tough play. Now it's a deuce set. First one clear by 2.
13 all. Hitting errors have been a problem for the Dallas Dream, but so far here in set 3, they have found their way once again. Just the second for Paul Lotman, but the timing couldn't be better.
Yeah, timing is the key, right? You see set up in that angle, straight up, straight over, solid with that right hand. The one a couple moments ago beat him between his arms and the net. He wasn't going to let that happen twice.
Match point for the Dallas Dream. Off the ace! Paul Lotman!
Miles working with the pitching coach, now throwing everything that he has. His hat, his glasses.
Whoever's got Miles' Partain hat, make sure you make your way back here to the court. You're going to want to have this thing signed after this performance. Like a boomerang.
That's frustration in victory, but victory nonetheless for the Dallas Dream.
Dallas ends that on a 4-0 run.
That was kind of dueling, right?
Yes, without question. But how about Paul Lotman closing it out with a block and an ace? A gritty, gutty performance from the Dallas Dream. Here's Kevin Barnett with the winners.
Thanks, Cam. Paul, we'll start with you. Fighting that block up at the net. You face a lot of big blockers on the other side. How do you stick in it when he's getting such success?
Logan's a great blocker. I think he's one of the best blockers we have, and he's shown that time and time again. But you know, I'm not too old yet. I can do my thing up there, so I got a great defender behind me, and we stuck together the whole way through, and I'm proud of us.
Last serve, you rip it. What were you going through in your mind as you went to serve?
Good toss, hit it. That's it. Yep.
Yeah, hit it and it worked. Miles, a lot of on-2 attacks from you. Of course, that's part of your brand. How are you deciding when and how to do it?
I mean, if Logan's serving, it helps. When the blocker's serving, they're more back. He was getting some, though. I probably should have jump set like 20, 30% more. Looking back, I thought I played great defense on that very last point. I was back there in the pocket while Paul was serving. I was just standing there and really enjoying that ace, so that was good.
Yeah, it seemed to me defense was getting better throughout the set, though. What were you keying on, or what were you seeing that helped?
We were trying to play with the wind. Like, if the wind's blowing, it's harder to turn it sometimes against the wind. Even though you want to hit it in the wind, sometimes it gets so far over. So we were sometimes having Paul block that side or me, but that was the ball we were really trying to key on when it was getting a little off or inside or outside.
What happened to your glasses?
It's like it was 146 degrees in my Tesla, and I think my Gooder glasses like melted because I put them on. They were like off center, and I looked, and like they were like warped and like expanded the plastic. So I think my Tesla melted some accessories too. Like, I got to buy some new stuff.
Yeah, we need some backups for you next week. Congratulations, big win, guys.
Yeah, by the way, that Tesla, the internal temp reached 143. Miles Partain shared. He had a 23-kill performance. You add in the 9 digs. Paul Lotman came to play when it mattered most. The block, the ace to seal the deal. The Dallas Dream add one more win to their record. Thanks for joining us here with the Progressive AVP League. For Rich Lambourne, Kevin Barnett, I'm Cameron Irwin. We can't wait to see you back on the sand.